Cook possibly sustained an injury, but now we see Morris coming back in.
Morris, number 24, will check in. Haven't heard from Dexter Manley here in the second half. 3 touchdown catches on the night for Dexter. This time he'll be split to the far side as they face a 2nd and 9 from the 43-yard line. Out of the wing tee. Boone gonna go for Manley. Manley's got a step, slightly overthrown. Merlin just not quite as crisp as he was in the first half right now is Boone.
That's right, but you see what you see the quarterback probably with a probably a cramp. It looks like it's a cramp.
Yeah, Greg Boone is down on the far side, and it's obviously a leg cramp.
You tell those fellas and make sure that you hydrate yourself, and that's one of those things that happens. But you see that the Tigers are going into maybe, Mickey, what we would call a four corners offense. You know, a time-consuming wing tee type of set, just to consume the ball, to run off some time, and then get some yards. And boy, but this is a big loss. If Boone is not able to continue putting somebody like Hendricks in, not that Hendricks is bad, but he's not a Boone.
And we know that O.C. Hendricks is going to have to come in for one play because Boone's going to have to come out for a play. He didn't make it off the field. Richard Morgan, you see him on the far side.
And there's my man, number 79, Junius Macklin.
Macklin been in on a couple of big plays tonight.
Oh, man, Macklin, whose brother is playing at Christopher Newport and also played for the Tigers, and father was on the coaching staff at Hickory High School. Very proud, man. Anytime you see Mr. Macklin, boy, he's proud of his boys.
Well, we know the older son had a great career there at Smith, and it looks like a pretty good start for the big fella here as well.
And don't be surprised if he doesn't follow his brother, Christopher Newport, who's now ranked in the top 25 of the Division III rankings.
Merlin, that'll give us a chance to tell people, you know, we have a lot of people playing on Saturdays from some Chesapeake high schools. Brian Johnston, by the way, here in the house tonight, former Bruin, Coach Johnston's son, who is now working at the Virginia Tech Sports Information Department. Well, that's a pretty busy job these days as those guys are 4-0. A pretty good player who went to Deep Creek playing for them right now.
Yeah, somebody named D'Angelo Hall, and then you got Vegas Ferguson. But did you see that one-handed interception he made against Connecticut? I mean, these guys are awesome.
Merlin, you think we have a future Heisman Trophy winner there from Chesapeake, maybe playing for Tech?
Man, that's saying a lot.
Can play both ways, do a little bit of everything. 4:05 remaining here. Smith with the football, 3rd and 9, going to air it out. This one going to the far side and caught. It's caught by Manley. He's going in for the touchdown. And over the shoulder grab, a defender right in front of him, right on the money. Touchdown, Oscar Smith Tigers. And guess what? O.C. Hendricks throws one pass. That's good for a touchdown.
I apologize, O.C. Man, you did the job. Again, those athletic receivers making the adjustment to the ball. He threw it where only Manley could catch the ball, and Manley did catch the ball. These guys are sure-handed. These guys are a great set of receivers. And these quarterbacks are doing the job, and the crowd is stunned.
It's 39-21 Smith Tigers. If you're watching on WCTV, you just got to look at the Bruin sideline that pretty much explained everything. A look of disbelief on the face of the Western Branch Bruins right now. Smith going to go for 2. Pressure, lobbed, intercepted. You can return it for 2. No, whistle did. No, you can't. No, you can't.
That's intercollegiate. But I wish they would go ahead and put that in for the high school, league, for the high school division.
Smith had missed the last 2 extra points. Why not go for 2? And again, it was O.C. Hendricks in there, Merle.
Man, these guys are just make the plays. Oh, that's just the extra point. But I mean, OC, you got to be impressed with this guy. He's just making the plays. You just do what your coach wants you to do. Throw the ball out there. OC's 1 for 1.
1-for-1 with a touchdown pass.
But what was impressive, Mickey, we heard some of the unofficial stats at halftime. Smith having 300 yards of total offense in the first half, and they're trying to duplicate that in the second half. And when's the last time someone had 400 yards or close to 500 yards of total offense against a Western Branch defense?
When's the last time that the Western Branch defense has given up 39 points? I mean, Merlin, we've covered a lot of Western Branch games in the last maybe 10 years, and I don't remember 39 points being put up against the Bruins in quite a while.
I hear what you're saying, and when's the last time Oscar Smith had such a potent attack that, I mean, you're just afraid to give him the ball. You just
Merlin,
really are afraid.
You have to look over to that sideline. Richard Morgan, in his second year, only been head coach for 4 years, and his second year at Oscar Smith, how in the world do you turn it around that quick?
You know, he talks about family, and they talk about Oscar Smith having a family. And that's what a lot of coaches, and we talked about Virginia Tech and what Frank Beamer is doing at the collegiate level. That's what Coach Morgan is preaching over at Oscar Smith. This is a family. We need to gain respect, and we only gain respect by playing and doing the right things on the field. We also do the right things in the classroom, and it's just a different atmosphere, the aura of the school. Led by Dr. Janet Draco. She selected Rick Moore, and look at this, Dominique Scott. Looks like a leg injury. It looks like a serious leg injury because one of his legs is just dangling. Well, both legs are dangling.
I don't know if it's a situation of leg cramps or not.
Wow.
Dr. Gregory
Well, he's putting pressure on him.
Sideline.
Yeah, he's putting pressure on him.
But Merlin, it has been a complete turnaround from a program that always worked hard, but just couldn't quite get over the hump.
And he couldn't have the players. I mean, look at that sideline. I mean, they have 50, 60 players out there, and you didn't have that on the Oscar Smith sideline before. And in past years, you had maybe 30, 35 guys on the sideline. The excitement is there.
Now, Merlin, if they can pull this one off, 3:57 to go in the third, a long way to go, but they are in control. Their playoff situation is looking very good.
Oh, yeah. Definitely, Mickey. I would say that they would be heads-on favorite to be either seated first or second.
Onside kick now. Hasn't gone the 10 yards yet. It's going to be very close. And Merlin, interesting how they did it. They send the white jerseys down, and they kind of kick it behind them. Try to knock some blue shirts out of the way, and then turn around and kick and get it. But now the ball is right around midfield. They kicked it from the 40.
Now, normally you would say, why would you do something like that? But I tell you,
it's going to be Western Branch ball, by the way.
And the defense, the Oscar Smith defense has pitched a shutout. And you can take chances like that when you have total confidence in your defense.
That ball was about 6 inches shy of going 10 yards, unless the Bruins recovered it, which may have happened. Big pile up on that far side, really couldn't get a good look at it. But I do not totally disagree with an onside kick there.
Sure, it's something that you wouldn't expect if you're, and it, like you said, it's 6 inches from having the ball again and really doing some damage in the game if they haven't already done enough. They're up by 18 points, and Western Branch doesn't look like the same team that we saw in the first half.
But you have number 12 back there in the maize and blue, Ryan Pond. And he can get you back in the game very quickly. He fields a low snap out of the shotgun, and he throws a bullet for Stanfield. It's going to be complete after a gain of about 5. A little pitch and catch from that pretty good twosome.
That's right, Stanfield's on the outside, just a quick curl. Just a 5-yard curl again. Ryan Pond had to scoop the ball up. But just a short pass, just to loosen up the defense. Just take what they give you right now and just try to methodically get back in the ball game.
Right at 60 yards receiving for Stanfield in the game. Second down at about 5. Pond under pressure, gonna run it. The big fella stumbling and rumbling, but he's gonna get a first down. He's gonna run out of bounds at the 30. You know, I've seen him on the baseball field. He's much more graceful on the diamond than he was on that particular run. He has a lot of highlights. He may not think that's one of his best, but it's good for a first down.
Much more nimble, but this is what he did. He sort of gave him a leg and took it away.
Yeah, that's what happened. He made somebody miss.
And that's all you need to do. He only had to make one, and then he did the smart thing. He got out of bounds.
First down, Bruins now threatening inside the 30 at the 28, 3:14 remaining in the third. They trail 39-21. Pond out of the shotgun. A bullet complete to Winley, and he'll dance out of bounds at the 25. Suddenly, that onside kick is starting to give the Bruins a little momentum.
And Pond in the shotgun just took a few steps back, but again, a bullet to Winley, who turned his head at just the right time. And then, again, showing great hands.
And now we see Ryan Pond jumping around out there like he's a 7th grader again. Very enthusiastic. And Richard Morgan said, hold on just 1 minute. I need a timeout for the Smith Tigers. Try to slow this thing up.
And I think Rich just saw that his team's a little tired right now. He just wants to make sure that everybody knows their assignment. And probably saw some things he didn't like in the coverage, and he probably are going to change that up.
We're going to go into the huddle now with Coach Lou Johnston and the Western Branch Bruins. Take a listen.
Just give him just a pause. You can get the man on top of you. I'll take him wherever he goes. I can't do much. The man over here, run him off and steal it. Well, being a short side. All right, we're going to go strong right, 32. Strong right, 32. What?
Tell you what, man, we have listened to Coach Lou's huddles for a long time. He really does want to get information from the guys on what's going on out there. Where's your guy? What's going on? And then right at the end, he blurts a decision like 3 or 4 times. Strong right 32 here out of the shotgun. We'll see what it is. Stanfield, along with Josh Baker to the near side. A little draw play. Mariner cuts it. No, that's Fentress. Touchdown, Devin Fentress.
And did you see the block put on by Stanfield? Stanfield just leveled the defensive back, knocked him out of bounds, cleared the path for Fentress.
Fentress with 2 touchdowns on the night. 39-27 Bruins.
And a good sign.
Excuse me, Tiger.
Yeah, and a good sign for here's the replay right here. But look at this block here by Stanfield. Look
Right
what he
there.
did. He knocks number 16, Tommy Lawrence, right out of bounds.
They throw it down the field when Smith thinks they might throw. They go the little draw out of the shotgun for 6. Now going for the extra point. No problem for Brian Dawson.
Mickey, I see a good sign for the Bruins. Dominique Scott is back in. That time he was a corner blocker on the extra point team, and he's been stretching, so I think it was a cramp. But, you know, those cramps don't go away easy.
An 11-point lead for the Smith Tigers, and they're getting ready to get the football back.
And it's just the third. Hey, it's just the
Just the
third
third
quarter,
quarter.
man. We got another 15 minutes to play.
Mickey Irving and Merlin Vaughn on your WCTV Channel 48 Game of the Week. And we hope you're enjoying our first game of the season. If you are listening, you're listening to 88.7 WFOS, home of the Blues Traffic Jam every weekday afternoon. And there is, Merlin, it all started with Purple Thunder, but this baby, if you're watching on WCTV, is a train horn with a big air compressor on the bottom of it. When the Bruins score, that bad boy lets out a little bit of noise. A lot of noise.
Yeah, I hear that. Mickey, 67 points scored in the game, and we know we're going to get more. It's not going to be 67 points scored in the game. We're going to score, 70, 80 points in a game. Man, didn't think that was going to be the case, but man, it's just great to be here.
Brian Dawson with a high, short kick. Fair catch called for and made by Tommy Lawrence around the 27-yard line. Good call from Tommy there.
Definitely a good high pooch punt by Dawson, one of the premier kickers in all of the state, in the state of Virginia. I mean, and they had him playing defensive back, so he's a great athlete.
Of course, this is a Bruin team that made it to the state semifinal game last season up around D.C. on a snow-covered field.
In Oakton, and we were there, Mickey, freezing.
Cold. They shoveled the snow off the field, and they said, let's play. It was a beautiful day for football. Came up a little bit short that day. But the Bruins hoping to make another run, but these Smith Tigers are very impressive, and Greg Boone is one of the reasons why, and he carries it around the far side, tries to turn the corner, and the crowd trying to get back into it, but he'll get about 6 or 7 there.
That's right, and again, chased down by Jeff Fitzgibbons. He's not going to give up, and Jeff is outweighed by, gee whiz, outweighed by almost 60 pounds, but got a lot of heart.
It will be a gain of 6, making it, well, let's call it a gain of 5, making it 2nd and 5. At the 34-yard line, we see Josh Baker out on the middle of the field, raising his hands to this homecoming crowd, saying, let's make some noise. Come on, we need you. Stanfield doing the same thing now as the Tigers break the huddle. And look out, 84, Dexter Manley down at the bottom of the field with 4 touchdown receptions on the night.
And make you a change of quarterback. Hendricks is under the center.
Gives it to Matthew Scott. Scott coming around the far side, but 5 blue shirts pull him down.
And that's what you're talking about, defensive pursuit. I wonder if the Smith Tigers are wearing down a little bit. Change of players on key downs right now. Hendricks is back in. Like I said, Mickey, those cramps don't go away.
Is it Josh Baker that chases him down here?
It looks like number 83, Kyle Franklin, chased him down from behind. Those ends he was doing a great job. You have Fitzgibbons on one side, you have Franklin on the other.
Big 3rd down and 5 here. No gain on that play for Matthew Scott.
And with Western Branch need to stop right now. They got the fans behind them. Boy, a stop right now will go a long ways in getting back into this ball game.
O.C. Hendricks going to drop back. He wants to throw it. Whistles will stop play. Maybe the Tigers may have jumped. A delay of game.
Dead ball foul. Got delay of game.
That will ignite this crowd just a little bit more. 1:20 remaining in the 3rd. Oscar Smith Tigers have put up 39 points in a little under 3 quarters. The Bruins with 28. As Coach Richard Morgan will send in Lawrence along with, I believe it's Tommy Lawrence and Darcel Brown. Dexter Manley, the man to watch, is on the far side. O.C. Hendricks out of the shotgun, rolling, looking, throws a bullet, and it's picked off by Stanfield. Stanfield at the 30. 1 white shirt in front. He gets a block from Baker. He gets down to the 1-yard line.
That's right. That time, again, double coverage on the receiver. You got a new quarterback in, and in a pressure situation, and that time, Western Branch changed the coverage. Let Stanfield, who's a free safety, let him roam a little bit. He made the play on the ball. He read the eyes of the quarterback. Sees the quarterback stirring the receiver down. He just locks in on the receiver, and Stanfield locks in on the quarterback, was able to step right in front, pick it off, and he took it down inside the 5-yard line.
Inside the 5-yard line. Matthew Scott somehow comes out of nowhere to pull Stanfield down. They have a 1st and goal at the 4-yard line.
And now we see Stanfield playing choir director or brand leader.
And suddenly the Smith Tigers will take their 2nd timeout. In Merlin, it's only 1:08 remaining in the 3rd. And the Bruins are going to come over to Coach Lou Johnston.
Boy, Western Branch scores now, Mickey.
They're right back in.
Cut that down to, cut the lead down to less than 10.
Let's listen in to Coach Lou.
You want to go at his Ranger and you call it on the line?
83 Ranger, right here.
But
Right now, just call it.
okay, I'll send you. 83 Ranger, you're right. Make sure you get to the back corner of the end zone. Okay? Just 1 yard in the end zone. Get wide. Get away from those guys. Okay? Hey! Dominic! Josh! Where's Josh?
Right here. Stop.
You got to get around in front of Ryan and get the widest man on the line now. Don't go sticking your nose inside.
Good camera work from Jim Hazel there for WCTV.
And
You were in that Western Branch huddle. Now, Merlin, is Ryan Pine going to make the decision up at the line of scrimmage?
Well, it looks like Ranger might be that he's going to roll out and maybe look for a receiver in the corner of the end zone.
1st and goal from about the 4-yard line. Here comes Pond, rolling.
Well, he's
got
got
3
3 or
men
4
wide
guys
open. And he throws it, and it goes into the arms of Alton Bradley. Merlin, 3 guys down there. He could have picked any of them.
Yeah, man, he had 3 guys wide open. Again, rolling to his right. Somebody had to catch it. He sort of like threw in the middle of them, you know, and Bradley said, okay, it's me.
Bradley, Merlin was along the back of the end zone, just kind of floating around in a bunch of blue shirts he could have went to.
Yeah, he had 3 guys. You see one guy just fell right there. He said, look, I don't want to get hit in the head with the ball. So he just fell down and looked like that was number 82, Quintrell Thomas.
A 5-point game. So the question is, do the Bruins go for 2 to make it a 3-point game? We see Ryan Pond is in there. Coach Lou standing beside Roland Wright on that near sideline. They're going to go for 2. Pond brings the Bruins into the huddle. 39-34. Minute 2 left in the third. Going for the 2-point conversion here. Ryan Pond, after the interception, able to find Bradley in the end zone for another touchdown pass. One of the many he's thrown here at Western Branch. Dominic Scott gets in off the right side.
Great call that time because no one played over top of number 73, Jason Knight. And so he had a linebacker Matthew Scott in front of him, so he just went off the ball. See, he goes right off the ball, and he pushes Scott. Scott's already 2 yards back. He just goes and helps him push back more, and you give the ball to the big guy. Looked like the ball came loose, Mick.
After he crossed the plane, I believe it did come loose, Merle. He stuck it out there to make sure he got it across.
Yeah, it came loose, and but Western Branch is now pulled within 3.
We've done a lot of ball games, Merlin. This one is starting to feel a little bit like a ball game that we had at this very field between the Hampton Crabbers and Deep Creek Hornets many years ago. A playoff game which featured Ronald Curry and Arnie Powell.
And Jason Waters.
Take a look at this extra point on channel 48.
Well,
question is, was his knee down? Ball's definitely
across, and that's what counts, and it looks like the ground causes the fumble.
Bruins will kick it away, another short kick. Fielded about the 25. It's Dexter Manley going to the far side, stretching it out, and he's hit around the 30-yard line.
Time tackle made by Cornelius Jefferson. Kept his containment. Was able to bring down a very explosive Manley. Now let's see what the Tigers are made out of now. The pressure's back on them.
Big question, who's going to be in at quarterback? Will it be O.C. Hendricks, or will it be Greg Boone, who went out with leg cramps earlier in the ball game? It looks like O.C. Hendricks
is coming in. That's not a good sign for the Tigers because the athleticism of Boone is just so important. He just brings such a large package to the table, and it's not a good sign when you have Hendricks in.
O.C. does have a touchdown pass on the night. They go out of that I formation. Look for number 4, Matthew Scott. Little delay to Scott. He breaks one tackle, and then he's punished. And I would bet number 8's around the football, and it is. It's Dominic Scott. Merlin, he's back in there.
And you're right,
he punished Matthew Scott. But we have a Bruins shaken up behind the line of scrimmage on the last play. It appears to be
looks like Quintrell
Thomas.
Yeah.
Look at the replay and see if we can figure out.
Hey, it looks like the Bruins are bringing the house. I mean, they're bringing the house.
A big-time hit from Dominic Scott, and we see that. You see the Bruins now have picked it up just a notch. Second down and 9. Crowd making some noise here. Here comes Western Branch again. And the Bruins are stepping it up right now, as it's going to be 3rd and about 12 or 13.
And good penetration that time by Brandon Watkins from his defensive tackle position.
13 seconds and counting remaining in the third. 39-36 Tigers, but momentum in the favor of the home team, the Western Branch Bruins right now, and that's going to be it. We're going to go to the 4th.
Mickey, the Tigers are bringing back in Boone for this play. But I tell you, the momentum has shifted to the Bruins.
It is a 3-point lead for the Oscar Smith Tigers, but they face a 3rd down and long, deep in their own territory.
And Mickey, we had a wine and cheese crowd on the Bruin side, but now these people are screaming and making a lot of noise, and it's really pumping up this defense.
You know, in our email exchanges about the games, I emailed Richie earlier in the week, and I said, you know, those Bruin fans don't need to turn into those Atlanta Brave fans. They don't need to just expect it's going to happen every year. And now that they've gotten a battle, the fans have picked it up a little bit.
Man, they're just getting their money's worth. And when you have 75 points scored in a ball game, and you still have a full quarter left to play, I mean, we got a lot of football ahead of us, man. It's going to be great.
Now, conditioning, Merlin. We're in the middle of the season. Everybody should be in good shape, Merlin, but, you know, which team is playing the most guys both ways?
Well, the fact that Boone was not able to play effectively those last 2 downs, offensive downs, is really, you know, allowed the Western Branch to get back in the ball game. If he's not able to go at 100% or even 80%, that gives Western Branch a leg up.
Crowd making some noise. There's 12 minutes to go in this one. What a great game to open the season here on WCTV Channel 48 and 88.7 WFOS. We hope you're enjoying it. It's 39-36 Smith Tigers. They have the ball, 3rd and 12 deep in their own territory. Boone wants to throw it. There's Stanfield, and he knocks it away. Merlin, he might have been thinking 6 there.
That's right. He was looking. He grabbed at it with just one hand. He had clear field ahead of him. But the most important thing is they're putting more pressure on Boone. I can't believe they're going to go for it on 4th down. Here it is
Boone,
again.
Merlin,
Good pressure.
he's definitely not 100%.
Yeah, and that time Stanfield, that's just, you know, he has an interception tonight, but he could have easily had 4 interceptions tonight.
Now they're ready to kick it with Boone. Western Branch with nobody deep. May be doing a little Blacksburg here, a little Virginia Tech. They may be going for the block. Here they come. They get it away, and they didn't touch the kicker. Great kick from Boone. And it takes a Smith bounce inside the 25-yard line. Boy, the Bruins were going after that one out of Frank Beamer School.
That's right, but and there's a flag being thrown, Mickey.
And we may have had somebody take their helmet off before leaving the field, Merle. Only 3 penalties in the ballgame thus far. If that's the case, that's going to back the Bruins up.
Looks like an illegal participation, which means that they had too many guys on the field, which means that would give Oscar Smith a 1st down. Because I think that's a 15-yard penalty, Mickey.
They are backing the ball up. The official just said, bring it back downfield.
Participation, 12 players on the field.
12 on
Snap.
the field.
15 yards, previous spot.
Holy
1st down.
cow.
Wow.
That is a 1st down, Oscar Smith.
Man, good Mickey. We definitely have to put that down as one of the key plays. Momentum has shifted to your side. You get the ball back, ready to try to take the lead, and you have 12 guys on the field. Wow.
And there you see down on the Western Branch sideline, Quintrell Thomas with ice on the back of the neck. Merlin shaken up. Don't know if he'll be back in, but it's 1st and 10 for Greg Boone. And here goes Matthew Scott around the far side. He'll pick up about 6.
And now you see what the problem that you've put yourself in. Now you see number 55, Brandon Watkins, not able to corral Scott for a loss. You see the legs of Scott, and you see Scott picking up those valuable yards right now. We'll see if the Smith Tigers go to him.
Right around 50 yards rushing for Matthew Scott. It may be time for number 4 to pick it up a notch because his friend Greg Boone, the quarterback, bothered by leg cramps. And he's still in there at quarterback. 2nd down and 5 from the 47. And here is Scott. He's not going to get the 1st down on this carry, but he'll notch a couple of more yards.
I think that time, Mickey, they gave it to the fullback,
Oh, it was
the
a
up back, and he got close. Number 2, Andre Cook, now is running the ball, and he was hit by Jeff Fitzgibbons. Been calling that name a lot tonight from his end position. And there we see Thomas back in the ball game, Mickey.
3rd down and 2 from the 49-yard line of the Bruins.
It looks like the Smith Tigers are going to take their 3rd and final timeout because they don't look like they're coming up to the line of scrimmage.
Boone's going to have to hurry in the huddle. He had gone to the far side and received the play directly from Richard Morgan, and they do hustle up quickly to not get the delay, but it may be too late. It may be too late.
It is too late. Delay of game.
Offense, 5 yards, 3rd down.
Costly penalty that time for the Tigers.
Their 2nd delay of the night, their 2nd penalty.
Only the 2nd, Mick?
Only the 2nd that I have.
Wow.
That doesn't mean it's right, Merlin, but
no,
that's
they've been
according to
playing
my
pretty
unofficial.
error-free. They've been playing pretty error-free, and if you can just keep it to just 2 5-yard penalties, you're doing a great job.
That's a huge one, however, as now we look at a 3rd down and 8 with 10:20 remaining in the ball game. Tigers with the ball at their own 45-yard line, going left to right. Movement. A lot of finger pointing going on now. The offense may have moved first. I think the right tackle may have jumped for the Smith Tigers.
Well, I think he jumped in response to the defensive tackle coming across. It looks like the Bruins
Tigers look like they're backing up.
We have a dead ball foul, a false start.
Very close.
Wow.
Take a look at the replay here on Channel 48. Yep, he moved first, Merle, the right tackle.
Well, let's let that run and see if he was already across. This guy, number 82, was already across the line of scrimmage, which caused him to move.
A lot of finger pointing going on. Boy, that's close. That is close. Now we're looking at a 3rd down and 12. Which, Merlin, that's not going to bother Greg Boone a whole lot.
No, especially with these rod outs that he has. They better make sure he does. Oh, there he goes.
He's going to throw it. Going for Manley, knocked down. And I believe that Alton Bradley had a hand on it.
It's really incidental contact.
Yeah.
There was no interference there.
He may have actually tripped on his own feet.
When you get your feet tangled like that, it's not interference. Both guys going for the ball.
Going to have to kick it away now. Is Coach Lou going to go for the block here? Take a look at Boone, Merlin, going for his favorite target. And yeah, they just tangled feet.
Yeah, sure. Now let's see how many guys they have on the field this time, Mickey.
Stanfield will be back around the 35. Bruins still maneuvering around like they want to block it, and here they come. High kick. Stanfield will just get out of the way of it, and that's a pretty good idea. Going to bound around the 38-yard line where the Bruins will take over 1st and 10 with 10 minutes and 4 seconds remaining in this one.
Well, the Bruins didn't hurt themselves as badly as I thought they would with that illegal participation penalty, but the Smith Tigers, those 2 5-yard penalties really set them back.
Yeah, they were in a perfect position.
And we'll see what Western Branch does. Now, Ryan Pond has a hot hand.
Pond will get the play from Coach Lou Johnston. They're going to go without the huddle. As we see the Bruins line up in a shotgun.
And a new safety in for Oscar Smith. You now have Naren Sanderlin. See if
Pond, inside handoff to Fentress, going around the far side now, cuts it up. Late flag comes in, possible hold against the Bruins.
And that's a spot foul, Mickey. So that's going to push the Bruins back and make it something.
34 blocking the back, Warren.
Illegal block in the back.
34 blocked him in the back. Doesn't matter where it's at.
Ryan Pond going over to find out what's going on. Tell you, Merlin, Pond may be one of the guys who just has such a great knowledge of the game.
That's right.
Of all the guys we've seen, he really knows how to play the game.
Have an illegal block in the back. 10 yards, spotted the foul. 1st down.
Took over the starting job as a freshman. And really hasn't looked back, has the senior Ryan Pond.
He said a block in the back, but I think we got the tail end of that play.
9:47 remaining in the ball game. Bruins trail by 3 with the football. Crowd has settled back in a little bit now, waiting for something to happen. Receivers split both far and near, and Pond drops back. Pressure and sacked, and a big sack by Darnell Jones of the Smith Tigers.
And you would want Pond to throw the ball away on an occasion like that.
Wow, it's going to be second about 30.
Second,
third about 30.
Suffolk there somewhere around there.
Pond dropped straight back, but was forced out of the pocket, Merle.
And he had one receiver that he particularly wanted to go to, and he had a couple that were open. He's going to have to just take what he can and just try to get those yards back a little at a time.
Windley, Stanfield, and Bradley are the wideouts as Pond faces a 3rd and a lot. Great protection. Steps up, airs it out, going for Windley, and he caught it. First
good
down.
catch by Windley.
Down
Good
to the
adjustment.
35-yard line. Pond airs it out about 45 yards. On the money.
Good adjustment that time. Again, Windley consistently beats his man, gets behind his man, and that's something that the Smith Tigers going to have to slide a safety over. Now Windley is working on, looks like he's working on Lawrence. The safety is occupied, and that allows Windley to get behind Lawrence for a huge gain.
Right around 100 yards receiving on 6 catches for Windley on the night. 1st and 10 Bruins at the Tiger 35, 8:25 and counting. Bruins trail by 3 out of the shotgun. They give it to Dominic Scott. Dominic bulldozes off that right side. Knocked down by Darnell Jones, but he's going to get some positive yardage for Coach Johnston and the Bruins, as it's going to be a gain of about 6 or 7.
And the punishing running of Scott at time would not be denied. He was hit at the line of scrimmage, but he's going to make his tackler go backwards.
Bruins now with a 2nd and 4. Gain of 6 on the last play for Scott. Pond out of the shotgun again, going to drop straight back. One pump fake across the middle and complete. Did he make the grab? Smith Tigers say no, but the officials say yes, and a great grab from Alton Bradley.
Bradley redeems himself from that block in the back. He's a wing back, just sets up, plants right there, and Pond hits him. Let's see if he makes the catch. Oh, the ball hits the ground, Mickey. The ball hits the ground.
So you're saying the Smith Tigers are right, huh, Merlin?
Yeah, the Smith Tigers were right.
1st and 10. Western Branch. Pond this time gives it to Fentress off that right side. Might get a couple of yards.
You don't have instant replay in high school ball, so don't have to let that one go.
We're going to take a look at that reception again, or incompletion.
Okay, Mick. It goes right through his hands. Hits the ground right there. See?
Oh,
see?
yeah, that might be
right on.
incompletion.
But he did good work.
Yeah, fooled me. Pond now to throw it for the end zone over the outstretched arms of Windley. Windley pays the price as Lawrence puts a big hit on him. They tap each other on the head. Pretty good sportsmanship there as that ball goes incomplete. And now we're looking at a 3rd down and 8 for the Bruins.
And you're in field goal range for Dawson. But I know the Bruins really want the touchdown.
They're going to have Fentress and Dominic Scott in the backfield out of the shotgun. Brian Dawson is the kicker, Merle. He scored about 59 total points last season. 2 field goals, all the rest extra points. You'd have to think this is in his range. The officials are going to stop the clock now and get together here for just a second. The last play, Merlin, just slightly overthrown, intended for Windley.
And to overthrow Windley, who has a great wingspan, I mean, good night.
Officials stop to warn the sidelines, make sure everybody's where they're supposed to be. Of course, the excitement taking over here.
Yeah, you guys want to be on the field.
Pond now, out of the shotgun, needs 8 yards. Gonna drop back, looking, pressure. Throws it for Stanfield, complete. He's gonna have the 1st down, bounces it to the outside, touchdown. No, that's Dominic Scott.
That's right, Scott out of the backfield. Again, they've been going to the wing backs, and then you slip your fullback out of the backfield. Give him a different look, uncovered. Able to pick up great play calling by Coach Johnston. And you also have to, he's got a great set of spotters up in the booth.
Oh yeah, Coach Donovan's up here.
Yeah, Coach Donovan's up here, and he can see those things, and they communicate very well.
Pond, Merlin, very impressive.
Again, saw that he was uncovered. Linebacker did not take him.
And suddenly, the Bruins have the lead, 42-39.
Well, I tell you, that's a long road back. Man, how many unanswered points is that, Mickey? 21 unanswered points?
21 unanswered. They have fought back. Now, Merlin looking at it now. Was it a mistake to go for the onside kick as we take a look at the touchdown on Channel 48?
Now, again, you sneak Scott out. To answer your question, Mickey, it wasn't a mistake for the onside kick. What's happened to the Smith Tigers is that their key players have leg cramps, and the conditioning when we talk about, they didn't have Boone for 2 series, and that really plays on a team.
And
Western Branch,
he may be fatigued, Merle, because he has not quite been as sharp.
Sure.
We've seen a lot of quarterbacks in our years of broadcasting. He was as good as anybody.
Yeah.
Curry, anybody. We've seen Aaron Sparrow. He was on the money in the first half. It was unbelievable. He may be like Pedro Martinez. He may have just thrown too much, Merle.
Well, see, unlike Deep Creek, Western Branch has that passing game that continues to put pressure on you, and it really makes you work.
Lawrence is going to return this one, going to the far side. Got a couple of white shirts over there, but he's tripped up right around the 24-yard line. Merlin, a step or two more.
And he was gone. So a great shoestring tackle. But getting back to that passing scheme, Western Branch is relentless. And I spoke to Coach Johnson before the game about that, and he just had a gleam in his eye. He said, I can do either. I can run, I can pass, and that's very difficult. Usually you're going to have a team who tends to have to lean toward one, either the run or the pass. And Western Branch likes that balance, and that's very hard to defend.
6:26 remaining in the ball game, 43-39. Bruins with the lead, Tigers with the football. From the 24-yard line, out of the I formation. Boone rolling. A bullet across the middle, caught by Manley, bounces off of 2 tackles. Check that, not Manley, but Paul Roseborough.
Roseborough showing a toughness, maybe interference, maybe hit him before he caught the ball.
I'm going to tell you, Merlin, he
close.
was popped and held on to the ball and then turned it upfield. But they're pointing towards the Smith Tigers. Holding penalty against the Tigers. Only their 3rd of the night at an inopportune time. That negates a great grab by Roseborough.
We talked about the Tigers being penalty-free in the first half. Let's see if we can detect the hole, Mickey.
Boone coming to that. Possibly could have been a hold right there. Close. As a late flag.
That was close.
Great reception from Roseborough, and he paid the price for it from Josh Baker. Going to be 1st and 20 now. Down inside the 15 at the 12-yard line.
The only thing about that hole, Mickey, the only thing I can figure is that the blocker put his hands on the back of Fitzgibbon's jersey, which you got to keep him in front.
Boone, pump fake. Wants to go deep. And incomplete. Intended for the man who has 4 touchdown receptions on the night, Dexter Manley.
And if you don't cover him, if you don't double cover him, then, I mean, gee whiz, you haven't learned anything from tonight's game. That's one guy you don't want to get free. Everybody else can be singled up, but you want to double cover Dexter Manley.
Unofficially, I have 21 throws for Boone on the night, and he's 9 for 21. Of course, this is not the same stat you're going to see in the paper in the morning.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't take that to the bank. But both guys throwing the football line have been very effective. 5 minutes and 52 seconds remaining. Crowd back on their feet.
Don't be surprised, Mick, if you see that screen come up again. Oh,
there's the draw with Matthew Scott. Matthew cuts it upfield. They're going to be close to the original line of scrimmage. Or they're going to face a 3rd down and long.
Stop by number 7, Stanfield.
I would say, you know, Scott was going to get the ball, and this time a good draw. But I tell you, he had some room if Stanfield didn't get him. Also, you might want to look for that screen pass. Both of those plays haven't really clicked. He's thrown a couple of screen passes, but he's thrown the ball poorly. But both of those plays have been open. Both of those screens have been open. So look for that. Maybe they'll come back to that.
Bruin defense asking the crowd to make some noise, and they stand up here on this big 3rd down and 14. Little play action. Boone dumps it off to the far side, complete the Roseboro. Gonna have a 1st down and breaks free. Breaks it to the middle of the field. Now makes another move to the outside. A great
excellent
run.
Play.
Is that Taylor or is that Roseboro? That's Taylor.
I think it's Taylor.
Number 12, Jakari Taylor, his first reception of the night. And Merlin, you talk about yards after the reception.
That's right. And Jakari comes out of the backfield, up taking a page from the Bruins. He was the fullback. He just came out of the backfield. Oh, that looks like a block in the back by number 82, Roseboro. But he was able to come right out the backfield. The linebackers didn't pick him up, and he basically put a flanker in the fullback position.
1st and 10, Tigers in Bruin territory at the 35. Boone hands it off to Matthew Scott. They have a hold of his jersey and they pull him down.
You got to be impressed with the work of Watkins.
Brandon was not going to be denied. He grabbed the number 4 jersey and just pulled it down to the turf here at
And he's a load.
Stadium.
I mean, he's a load. And Scott, you don't do that to.
Scott right around 60 yards on the game, right around 20 carries.
I mean, he's been hard to block. I mean, Watkins has been hard to block all night long, but man, it's just his bulldog mentality.
Keep one eye on the game clock now. 3:50 and counting. Smith with only 1 timeout remaining as they bring the receivers in. Manley, Lawrence, Taylor, all in there now for Coach Morgan. Low snap, but Boone able to get it out of the shotgun. Great protection across the middle and complete, close to a 1st down, and give credit to Roseboro.
Smart job by Roseboro. Saw that they were playing a zone and that they were focusing on the outside receiver, so he just crawled right in under the zone.
And he may have the 1st down. Officials are going to stop the clock and take a measurement.
Just stop right under the zone. Good play. Didn't force anything.
Boone continuing to impress throwing the football. Big measurement here. Of course, you know they're going to go for it. They're about length of the football short. Going to be 3rd down and that much to go. They need to cross the 25-yard line to get a 1st down.
And you just sneak it here with Boone. But gee whiz.
3:22.
Yeah, be interesting to see how Western Branch plays it. Plays that defensive secondary. Who do they want to double? Who do they want to leave with single coverage on it?
Greg Boone confidently strides out of the huddle for the Smith Tigers. Got Matthew Scott right behind him. 3 receivers to the near side. Going to quarterback sneak it. He will have the 1st down across the 25 to the 23-yard line. Right around 50 yards rushing in the game for Greg Boone.
It's good to have Boone. I know the Tigers say, man, it's good to have Boone back in there. Have that stability at the quarterback. Somebody that they believe in. Someone that they know that can lead them to victories. And you got Boone back, and it doesn't look like he feels any effects from the cramps that he had earlier in the ball game.
Under 3 minutes, 2:50 remaining. Matthew Scott across the left side. Cuts it back inside the 15 to the 10-yard line. 1st down, Tigers.
Hey, that's the guy that you can always rely on. He's their bread and butter. He's the horse. So you give the ball to the horse. You think they're going to throw the ball, and look at Scott. I mean, he looks fresh. And look, Dominique Scott has to bring him down, but he gets a 1st down in there, and outside the 10-yard line.
Officials timeout now. They may measure again. Now the Bruins are going to take timeout. Coach Scott Johnson will trot out to that huddle. The defensive coordinator of this football team here at Western Branch High School. 2:42 remaining. Now, Merle, if you're Western Branch, do you say, you know what? It'd be okay if they go ahead and score now.
Oh, Mickey, you shouldn't have said that. You shouldn't
That
have
way, that gives us more time to get it down the field.
That's not always a guarantee. You want to stop them right now. You know they can't kick a field goal and beat you. You want to try to stop that touchdown.
Of course, anytime that I can get the ball in number 12's hands, I like my chances better.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
If I'm Western Branch, I want Ryan Pond out there. If I'm Coach Richard Morgan, I'm thinking I got a first, and I think they can get a first down, a 1st and 10.
Yes, they
right
can.
At the goal line.
Right at the goal
I'm
line.
keeping it on the ground, trying to get 2 or 3 yards here and there, and take a little time off the clock before I punch it in.
Now here's a matchup on the outside, Mickey. Manley versus Bradley. They look like they're bringing out Stanfield, so they're going to double cover, possibly double cover Manley.
2:42 remaining. 4-point Bruin lead. Tigers threatening at the 11-yard line. Boone rolling to the near side, across the middle, falls incomplete. Rolling to the right, throws it back to the goal line, and falls just incomplete.
Boy, he had a bunch of guys open that thing. He had Roseboro open, had Cook open. They're going to have to come back to that play.
2nd down and 10 now. They need to get to the 1 yard, inside the 1 yard line for a first down. Mickey Irving and Merlin Vaughn from Art Brander Stadium at Western Branch High School for the WCTV Channel 48 Game of the Week, and it's been a classic. We hope you're enjoying it. We hope you're enjoying it listening on 88.7 WFOS. The Bruins and the Tigers both undefeated, looking to take control of the Southeastern District. Tigers will send 3 receivers to the near side. They trail by 4. Gonna give it to Matthew Scott. Right up the middle. Touchdown, wow. Matthew Scott and the Tigers.
Wow, like he was shot out of a cannon, and it's in the 4th quarter. It's something very simple, but well blocked. And Matthew Scott, he just needs a little opening.
His first touchdown of the night. And, you know, you didn't think you could say that, Merlin, if they were going to score 45 points, that would be his first score of the night.
But look, it's just a simple give up the middle. And Scott just does the work. I mean, he just plays off of that first block, and he's right up the middle. It's safe to say Western Branch looking for the pass. They weren't expecting that call, and we'll see the Smith Tigers go for 2.
Going for 2 here now with they got the 2-point lead. Trying to make it a 4-point lead so the field goal will not beat them.
Scott's in a fullback position.
Going to pitch it out. And look, they're going to try to throw it back to Boone. Here comes pressure, busted play now. They just throw it up for grabs. Craig Boone grabs it, but couldn't get in. Pretty good penetration from that Western Branch defense. Busted that play up. Pretty smart just to shovel it forward from Tommy Lawrence just to get rid of it, take a shot at it.
Exactly. That time they had moved Scott to the fullback position. But you know, Mickey, I would have had the propensity to spread the Bruins out and just run Scott back up the middle again. I mean, they haven't stopped that play tonight that much. And just see Scott, spread him out and just let Scott do his thing.
Coach Richard Morgan over there on the sideline, I'm sure talking to his defense, saying we've got the 2-point lead, 2:32 remaining. The Bruins are going to get the football back. Fentress will be back around the 10. He's returned 1 for a touchdown tonight.
And the Bruins have the premier kicker, one of the premier kickers in the state, and Brian Dawson has good range. So, you know, you feel like you can get the ball inside the 30, that Dawson will have a shot at making a field goal.
2:32 remaining, and Merlin, as we mentioned just a while back, the only game we can compare this to is that Deep Creek Hampton playoff game years ago, which featured Arnie Powell and Ronald Curry.
Right, just back and forth, back and forth. Who had the ball last won the ball game, and then that was Deep Creek. So we'll see. Western Branch has the ball right now.
The only difference, the Hornets, I believe, were going right, from the left to right, and Western Branch going to be going the other direction.
Exactly.
Stanfield will be deep, along with Devin Fentress. course, Michael Wood.